Amateur Redneck Workshop. I'm Harold, and today this is just about kind of squaring up a few things that sort of went unfinished or were not properly finished or whatever, such as the LED light I put under my Grizzly. Uh, just like one of my viewers agreed with me, it didn't really make much difference, so I go and I make a really big one, use up all the LEDs that came on the spool except for about a foot. And there's not a lot of video of me doing that because it was really sticky and messy, and watching a guy solder things together and try to stick them down onto some double-sided tape's not much fun. But you get to see the results and some of the in-between stuff. And my Crucible, you saw in the last video that, you know, where I poured some ingots, it was a little bit iffy about whether it's going to fall over in the grass or not. So I fixed that. You get to see that on the video today. And I was given a shotgun sort of in pieces to figure out why it didn't work right. Being in pieces would be a little bit of a hindrance, but actually it had a malfunction, which I guess is what caused it to be in pieces. And a couple things here. I asked viewers to send me in your pictures or pictures of you doing things that you like to do or being around people you like. And right off, I got 3, and then we've gone into a real dry spell here. No viewer pictures. And don't be bashful. Go ahead and send something in, you know. And if you already sent one in and you got a different picture doing something, go ahead and send another one. What the heck? It looks like people are going to be kind of shy about that. And you remember me getting this little camera, which upside down. This is a GoPro clone, and my truck's got a GoPro mount on the windshield, which really is in the wrong place. It's right where the sun visors come down and whacks it and makes it turn up and look at the sky. But anyway, I put this in there sometime around November, December, and everything went along pretty good for a while until the weather got hot. And about the 20th of April was the last 2 days this little guy actually worked right. After that, I guess it was just too dead to, to function. The heat got to it, sitting there in that window. And the windshield, the heat was more than it could handle, so now it's just a piece of $40 scrap. So it's going in the trash. I've been playing around with the new intros, and I got yet another one for this video, and you guys can tell me whether you like it or not, and leaving comments is always good, and I like those comments. And I've been smashing things with a press at the beginning of videos, and maybe you might have something you want to see me smash, or maybe you've got something you'd like to send me to smash with the press, and that'd be really neat. My email address is always right down there at the beginning of the videos, so it's not hard to find. And jokes, some of you guys sent me some Bubba jokes, and they worked out pretty good. And I'm open to as many as I can get because it's hard to come up with new Bubba jokes. And we're gonna have a Bubba joke at the end of this video. I've been putting it at the end just to see how it worked out, and so far it seems to be working okay. Today's the 9th Amendment, and we'll get that, and then the week after this we'll wrap it all up with the 10th Amendment. So let's right now let's just get on into the amendment. Okay, today we're going to do the 9th Amendment, and if you're not a citizen of the U.S., the 9th Amendment may not be of any particular interest to you, but it is to a lot of us. So the 9th Amendment, it says, the enumeration in the Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny or disparage others retained by the people. And apparently there's some arguments about the scholars about this thing, and there was some opposition to the Bill of Rights by some because a guy that James Wilson argued that a Bill of Rights would be dangerous because enumerating any rights might imply that all those not listed were surrendered. So apparently the Ninth Amendment is added there to make clear that this Bill of Rights does not exclude other rights. You know, that just because it got left off the list doesn't mean that you can't have other rights not listed. Okay, so that is the Ninth Amendment, which I think is a good thing to have. We'll get on with your regular programming now. If you saw the last little video where I did some casting, you saw that this little guy right here didn't work out. He too flimsy. So what I've got this 3/8 bar. I'm gonna run it along the side, up and over here where I can swing it over onto the top of this guy to hang on good and tight. I'm going to use this 3/8 pipe for the I guess you could say the hinges for it, or guides along the edge of that handle there, and this is going to go away. So of course first thing I got to do is try to drill this 3/8 out to 3/8, because the ends are kind of squeezed down from, I guess, from the threading. So first thing I'll do is I'll chuck this up in the lathe and get a bit and drill her out. Alright, let's try to drill a 3/8 hole in a 3/8 pipe knuckle. Okay, so with the help of a 13/32 drill bit, this thing fits through there, and it's just about the right tightness, because stuff that gets hot gets rusty, and that'll be enough room to knock the rust off now and again. Alright, so I'll go figure up how to bend this, and I'll come back. My nose must be going all to pieces. I swear this garage smells like hydrogen sulfide. I went outside just to see if it smelled like that outside. Outside's just a normal moldy smell, you know. Oh well. Alright, now then, just for the sake of demonstration, I'll show how this is going to hold the thing together. When I set it down on the ground, we'll set it like that so that the crucible can, you know, be in the hole. And then I'll bring it back around. That right there, when I swing it around, that should hold the crucible really nice and tight. And I'll zoom in on it there. You can see that that's got a pretty good grip. So I won't be dropping it, and that'll probably stay with me. I put a little hose clamp at the top of the little sleeve there just to hold it up. I think that'll do the job, and if not, I'll come back later and drill a tiny hole and put a cotter pin in it. But I like that better than a cotter pin, because I don't have to weaken anything to make a hole. Not that I doubt it would really make any difference, but nevertheless, we're welded up and looking like we're going to work, so that's the way it's going to stay. I think the floppy crucible problem is all solved. Alright, so I need to improve the LED lights that I put on my mill. So I got this, since I already have this piece of sheet metal that I use to try to make a funnel, and I've got a lot of sheet metal now, I decided I would cut out a piece and put all of the reel of LEDs all on it. And so what I've done is I glued all the negatives together, and I soldered all the negatives together and soldered all the positives together and hooked it up. And I thought I was watching the polarity pretty good, but I got half of them backwards. But they're all pointing the right way now. So my next step is to spread some double-sided tape on that metal, roll these little boogers over, and stick them down. If you can just imagine a bowl of spaghetti made out of glue, you can imagine these little strips. This strip of LEDs had a really sticky back on it, almost sticky enough, And then I put double-sided tape down, so you can imagine me trying to stick one row at a time of these and them all glued to, soldered together. But I got there and only broke a couple of wires, which I had to resolder. And it was good that these things go through the top, because I had to drill a hole in the plastic on that beautiful waterproof plastic on the top there, and solder one from the top. That all the rest are soldered from the bottom. So now I'll take a bunch of these really powerful magnets that I've got, and I'll spread them around underneath, and we'll plug it in and turn the light on and see if this really makes a difference this time. Alright, here's the test. Well, wait a minute. Can't test it if it's not plugged in. Here's my wire. Where's the other end? There it is. Okay, let there be light. I think this time that it does make a difference, definitely. So there you are. Not a success the first time around, but certainly makes a difference the second time around. And I can angle it a little bit here and there if I need to, because I've got enough magnets to do that. Alright, so that's two things put right. The little carrier for my Crucible, and the light for the mill finally made right. So, well, let's get on with it. Someone brought me this shotgun to put back together, and it was in more pieces than this, a few more originally, but I've got to try to put it back together and see if I can make it work. Supposedly it didn't eject the old shells, so I'm going to try and put it back together enough to try it out and see if it ejects or not, or at least get some idea of why not. And so I'm going to have to get my punches and knock a few drift pins out and stuff like that. And I'm not going to try to do it on camera, because who knows, it could take me a couple of hours to figure this stuff out. This is the trigger group out of it. You'll recognize the little door that you push up to put the shotgun shells in the magazine. And of course this is the hammer, and it whacks the back of the bolt. I had to get this out because the bolt was stuck on top of it, and I needed to get it back where it'd come all the way back up to the firing chamber, so at least this came loose pretty easy. And so my next step is to get that chunk of metal you see then. That little guy goes underneath the bolt and is operated by the pump on the front there, and I've got to maneuver him back in, and I have no idea how to do it, but we're going to try. This is the slide, and this is the bolt. He sits right on top of the slide, but the problem is the extractor is missing. That's what's wrong with this thing, and so it'll get stuck back to the side for about a week while I wait for an extractor to come in. Got it on order. So once we got that, we'll put it together, and maybe we'll take it to the range and do some video, and maybe not. We'll see. It seems like Bubba's Uncle Jeb went to the doctor and got a thorough examination, from top to bottom. The doctor comes back in and says, "Well, Jeb," he says, "I got to tell you something. You only got about 6 months to live, and what he says, what I'm going to do is I'm going to prescribe that you move in with your mother-in-law." And Jeb thinks on it. He says, "Well, doctor," he says, "I can understand that bit about having 6 months left, but why in the world do you want me to move in with my mother-in-law?" The doctor says, "'Cause that'll be the longest 6 months of your life." Okay, folks, that's all I can punish you with today. I appreciate you viewing, and I'd appreciate it even more if you don't subscribe. Subscribe. That'd make an old geezer happy. And leave some comments, good comments, bad comments, indifferent, who cares, just as long as you leave them, and click the thumbs up, even if you didn't like it. All right, folks, y'all just keep on keeping on. I'll see you later.